What would you do if a pack of wild dogs suddenly appeared and began surrounding their prey? In just seconds, chaos is unleashed. Ferocious lunges, relentless barking, and nearly unstoppable teamwork turn the chase into a brutal and unbelievable spectacle. This is not a lone predator. It's an entire pack attacking together, forcing the prey into a trap with no escape. Today, you will witness the most horrific and brutal attacks by African wild dogs ever captured on camera. Brace yourself. Let's dive in. 1. Wildebeest versus African wild dogs. On a nearby grassland, a herd of wildebeest suddenly confronts a pack of African wild dogs. The leading bulls immediately charge forward, using their curved horns to strike at the predators closing in. A wildebeest can weigh over 250 kilograms, and its powerful curved horns are capable of inflicting serious injuries on predators. When threatened, they often form a defensive circle, standing together to protect the weaker members of the herd. The herd fights back fiercely, forcing the wild dogs to scatter. But the defense cannot last forever. Eventually, the herd breaks and begins to run, and the real chase begins. The pack of wild dogs begins the pursuit across the dry savanna. The wildebeest try to maintain formation, but speed and panic slowly break their structure apart. African wild dogs are famous for their endurance, capable of maintaining speeds close to 50 kilometers per hour for long periods. They do not need to attack immediately. They only need to exhaust their prey. Gradually, several wildebeest become separated from the herd. The pack splits into smaller groups, locking onto the weaker individuals. But the isolated wildebeest is about to face an even greater danger. The final wildebeest is surrounded from every direction by the pack. This time, the pack's strategy of separating the herd has worked perfectly. On the savanna, a wildebeest cut off from its herd has almost no chance of survival against a pack of wild dogs. Its only weapons are speed and its sharp, curved horns. In desperation, it charges directly at the predators. But the pack refuses to give up. They attack in turns, slowly draining the animal's strength. Eventually, the wildebeest collapses, a harsh reminder of the power of teamwork in the wild. 2. Buffalo versus African wild dogs. Hunger has made the pack of wild dogs even more daring. Their target this time is a solitary African buffalo. Buffalo are among the most dangerous animals on the savanna, armed with massive curved horns. An adult buffalo can weigh nearly 1 ton. But its weakness is speed, far lower than that of the wild dogs. The pack begins surrounding the buffalo and attacking from multiple directions, slowly exhausting it. Eventually, the unfortunate buffalo collapses. Once again, even immense individual strength cannot overcome the strategy of the pack. Under the scorching savanna sun, a massive African buffalo is surrounded by a pack of wild dogs. Deep wounds across its body reveal that the chase has lasted for a long time, and the heavy animal is beginning to lose strength. African buffalo can weigh nearly a ton, and even lions usually hunt them in groups. But wild dogs rely not on power, they rely on endurance. The buffalo attempts to fight back, lowering its head and spinning to face the attackers. But as dozens of bites accumulate, its strength finally gives out. The buffalo collapses and becomes food for the entire pack.
I've got so many pictures.
Sometimes, the persistence of a group is stronger than the power of a giant individual.
I've got so many pictures. I've got so many pictures.
3. Buck versus African wild dogs. Near the water's edge, a male buck is spotted by the pack of wild dogs. It lowers its horns, trying to maintain distance from the predators closing in from all sides. The horns of a male buck can break bones if they strike directly. So the wild dogs avoid a direct attack. Instead, they circle constantly, trying to destabilize the prey. But the place where the buck stands hides another danger. From beneath the water, a crocodile suddenly emerges. In an instant, it clamps down on the animal's body. For the first time, the wild dogs lose their prey right before their eyes. A young buck follows fresh tracks in the mud and walks down toward the riverbank. It has no idea that this area lies within the hunting territory of a pack of wild dogs. Within seconds, one dog approaches from behind and bites the animal's hind leg. Their usual strategy is to latch on and drag the prey until it weakens. The ears of a buck contain a sensitive balance system that helps maintain stability. But a strong pull on the ear can disorient the animal completely. Right on that riverbank, brutal hunts continue to unfold. Warthog versus African wild dogs. On the savannah, warthogs are a common target for wild dog packs. They use a tactic of forcing the prey out of its burrow, repeatedly biting and pressuring the warthog until it is forced onto open ground. Warthogs can fight back with powerful charges using their sharp, curved tusks. But when facing a coordinated pack of predators, a single individual has almost no chance. Wild dogs can maintain speeds close to 50 kilometers per hour for several minutes, quickly exhausting their prey. Once surrounded, the warthog's fate is almost inevitable. But the pack's hunt is far from over. 5. Antelope versus African wild dogs. Still near the same river, another antelope struggles to cross the muddy bank. But the familiar snarls of the wild dog pack echo around it. African wild dogs have a hunting success rate of nearly 80%, one of the highest in nature. But this time, another predator appears. A large clan of hyenas rushes in and takes control of the hunt. The antelope fights desperately. But the powerful jaws of the hyenas quickly weaken the prey. They drag the carcass onto the bank. After several failed attempts earlier, the hyenas finally reclaim their dominance on the savanna. 6. Lion versus African wild dogs. African wild dogs are the most efficient predators on the continent, with hunting success rates exceeding 80% thanks to their tight pack coordination. Unlike many predators, they rely more on endurance than strength and can chase prey for kilometers. But the lioness remains calm. A single loud roar and a few aggressive steps are enough to make the pack hesitate. Eventually, the dogs retreat. But this encounter is only the beginning. As the lioness turns away, the wild dogs follow again, closing in from behind. They attack in waves, running in arcs before lunging toward the lion's flanks, a familiar tactic used to exhaust prey. Wild dogs usually hunt in groups of 10 to 20 individuals, because a single dog cannot face a larger predator like a lion. But the lion understands their weakness pack morale. Suddenly, it charges directly at one of them. If even one member is severely injured, the entire pack becomes unstable. Realizing the risk, the wild dogs finally abandon the attack. Seven. Hyena versus African wild dogs. As expected, the next opponent for the wild dogs is the hyena, the master scavenger of the savanna. Hyenas are also highly effective pack hunters, but this time, only a few individuals are present. The wild dogs quickly close in, attacking from multiple directions. Hyenas possess extremely powerful jaws, capable of crushing large bones to reach the marrow inside. But when their numbers are too small, that advantage disappears. Realizing they are outnumbered, the hyenas retreat and wait for another chance to steal a meal. Not long afterward, the confrontation continues on the plains of the Masai Mara. This time, the hyena clan returns in greater numbers, targeting the wild dog's fresh kill. African wild dogs almost never share their prey, leaving only two options: fight or flee. They immediately spread out and charge toward the hyenas to defend their meal. In the chaos, a young hyena suffers several painful bites. The hyenas eventually retreat, leaving the carcass behind. After being threatened twice, the wild dogs decide to strike first. They begin targeting hyenas that wander alone across the savannah. Wild dogs are famous for their relentless group attacks, especially when they have numerical advantage. Meanwhile, hyenas, despite their strong jaws and tough bodies, rely heavily on the support of their clan. A lone hyena can only growl and threaten to avoid direct conflict. But the wild dogs continue to close in. The rivalry between these two infamous predators of the savannah seems to have no end. This encounter may determine who truly controls this part of the savannah. The wild dog pack has overwhelming numbers. Two unfortunate hyenas are surrounded in seconds. The dog's strategy is simple: separate opponents and attack them one by one. Even though hyenas are stronger individually, once separated, they cannot fight off an entire pack. The attack happens in a flash. In the end, the two hyenas are forced to flee, leaving the battlefield to the wild dogs. Once again, numbers prove to be one of nature's most powerful weapons. What you've just seen reveals the terrifying power of coordinated pack hunting.
I've got so many pictures.
When many predators act together, a chase can end in just minutes.
I've got so many pictures.
Which moment surprised you the most? If you found this video intense and unbelievable, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe so you won't miss the next shocking wildlife moments. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.